Hi. Thank you very much, Terry. And thank you to Jeremy, Keith, and Andy, and everyone at Off Square Music for giving us this opportunity. Don't forget to help them out by putting some money in the tip jar. And be sure to remember Nicole, who's back there and serving us tonight. Thanks to my fellow performers and to everyone who's come to listen tonight. If you tune into Off Square Music tomorrow night, it's always a treat to hear the virtual open mic. And there'll be some great music. And also, that's when I will be announcing who's going to be performing at the Woodstock Folk Festival April 21st Spring Benefit Concert. So lots of reasons to tune in for Off Square Music tomorrow night. The poem I'm going to read tonight, every one of my poems is inspired by something different. This one happened right here in this room. Cassandra Vos Demon, who I believe founded this all-original open mic, was doing a show in December. It was her holiday show. And at the end of it, she mentioned that she was going to be doing a show on Saturday, February 24th, which is tomorrow, right here, called Love Letters. And the last I knew, there were still some tickets available for that, so come tomorrow if you can. But it got me to thinking about love letters, and I realized while I'd written many letters, I had never written a love letter. So it started me on this path of thinking about the people to whom I might have written love letters, and that's what I have for you tonight. Love letters. Dear friend, it was a long time ago. I think you were 5 and I was 4. I lived with my grandparents in the log cabin across from your house. I remember those carefree days before we had school and other responsibilities. We played in the wide open field. Now there is a school there. We walked through the orchard that was the end of the road. The orchard is gone, and there is now a road where it used to be. Times change, but often in the fall, I remember how we piled the fallen leaves in shades of red, orange, and gold beneath the picnic table. Then came the soft crunch as we jumped from the table into the pile. I think of you when I hear autumn leaves. When my grandfather died and my grandmother had to sell the cabin, I moved back to the city to live with my father and sister. For many years, your sister and I exchanged letters, and I know she had some tough times. I tried to contact you through the school, but they don't have an address for you. I hope life has been good to both of you. May love always carry you on the shoulders of the world. Love, Carol. Dear friend, we were in 2nd grade, and your desk nearly touched mine. You sent me my first Valentine. I think of that time in my life whenever I hear the song Running Bear. I remember the whispers when one year you returned to school with a different last name. How hard that must have been. After grammar school, we lost touch, and then finally reconnected through the internet. You had served in Vietnam, and then struggled in the aftermath, until you met your wife. When we last spoke, you were happy and doing well. May love always carry you on the shoulders of the world. Love, Carol. Dear friend, we've known each other since 1st grade. Often when we played, your father would give you money to buy us ice cream cones. His kindness did not go unnoticed, and he passed it on to you. When we graduated from grammar school, you invited me to the dance and came to my home with an orchid. I was wearing a blue dress and dancing to Devil with the Blue Dress On. What a special time that was in our lives. You brought science alive for me when you showed me how to start a fire with a magnifying glass on the sidewalk. You often mixed chemicals, and your parents feared you might burn the house down. But instead, you excelled in your career and in raising a family. Our lives went in different directions, but our friendship lives on. I think of you whenever I hear, those were the days. May love always carry you on the shoulders of the world. Love, Carol. Dear friend, it was freshman week, and you were looking for a friend. I invited you to my room to wait for her. We started to talk that night, the next night, the night after that, sometimes in our rooms, sometimes on long walks. At Christmas, I met your family, and you met mine. I thought it was forever. Then, you asked if 2 could be 3. I'm sorry, but I couldn't do that. We made a final trip together. We hitchhiked to St. Louis, and I crossed the Mississippi for the first time, then on through Kansas, ending in New Mexico, then flying home from Tulsa. I still remember the smoky pink sky in Tulsa. Many years later, when we were both married, we reconnected and saw each other periodically. We loved other people, but still remained friends, even to this day, with ever more profound changes in our lives. I think of you whenever I hear leaving on a jet plane. May love always carry you on the shoulders of the world. Love, Carol. Dear friend, we met on Makash Walk during the student strike of 1970. We were both working for UNDO, the Union for National Draft Opposition. You needed 100,000 copies of a flyer by midnight for a demonstration the next day. Your friend and I somehow managed to do this. Later, you and I traveled to Milwaukee, then Madison, where I fell in love with folk music and with you. Our weekend in Montreal may have sealed that bond. That summer, we lived in a house with 8 other students. We protested the war by day. At night, we listened to a friend read poetry, while another introduced us to the music of Jacques Brel. And you learned to play guitar. We married in a garden, and for over 40 years, our circle of friends and our love for each other grew as we traveled the country and the world. Then, it all ended so abruptly. The diagnosis, the new hope followed by disappointment each day. Then those final days when you slept or were in too much pain to talk. I think of you every day, and most of all, when I hear our anthem, If We Only Have Love. If there is a heaven, I hope love carries you on the shoulders of that other world. Love, Carol. Dear friend, I think of you when I look up at the stars at night. When I hear your voice, something deep inside me stirs. I wonder what it would be like to talk all night, to travel together, to build new memories and dreams. I am not done with living or loving. And I hope maybe you feel that too. In the meantime, the song I've Got to Believe plays through my head. I hope that love will carry us all on the shoulders of the world someday. Love, Carol. Thank you.